Welcome in on this Monday. The Tigers are back in the polls. College basketball begins tonight at FedEx Forum. And an old friend is back in town. And another Power 4 firing takes down another Power 4 coach. Goodbye to Brian Kelly as he gets fired at LSU. Crazy stuff. And along with Calipari's return tonight and the exhibition game with Arkansas at FedEx Forum, we got some old friends in town. One has become an author. He's going to join us here in a little bit. And then a couple of other old faces that you may recall. We'll hear from several of them as this show unfolds. Picks, Landon Schmidt, not bad. We were both 4-1 on the week, so I'm back to 500. 2020, you're creeping back up, 17-23. The one game that we did lose, and that was Texas at Mississippi State, and Mississippi State blew it. They had Texas on the ropes. Punt return killed them, and then even without Arch Manning, they get it done in overtime. That game, this is why I tell you folks, be very careful when you bet. The hook got them here. 6.5 was the margin, and Texas got it by 7. So that was the only loss we had this week. Ole Miss looked good. Vandy looked really good. A&M, they were behind in that game at the half. Got blown up, 35 straight?
I think so.
And that blew out Brian Kelly. You see how much money they owe Brian Kelly?
It's a hefty amount.
Brian Kelly, I think if I do my math correct, with the buyout, it's like $53 million. He's owed $9 million for this year. They have to pay him within a month of the season's end. That'll be like $62 million, somewhere in there. He pockets what you're going to get two-thirds of that, right? He's going to walk away with $40 million in his pocket, and if he wants to, he's 64. The ability to coach right away. That's 8 Power 4s. We'll get into that because on Mondays we do a little thing here we call precious metals. I got a bunch. And I will start off with just the one bronze today. Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves from the Lakers playing without Luka. There's no LeBron. They're playing Sacramento. Okay, not a powerhouse. Austin Reeves scores 51. Remember, this is the kid. He's from a little town in Arkansas, not far from Jonesboro. Nobody recruited the guy, except not Memphis, not even Arkansas State, just Greg Marshall, who was at Wichita State at the time. Of course, he went there one year. Greg Marshall's a hard guy to play for. These guys in here talking about how tough Calipari used to be. Greg Marshall? Whew. So he left after 1 year, went to Oklahoma, and made his name, and hey, this guy, it's 51 points. Austin Reeves, you get a gold, a bronze medal. Silver medals to Jordan Love, the Green Bay quarterback, at one point, 20 straight pass completions, 360 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. And he beat his old teammate. Aaron Rodgers, false. Visiting Pittsburgh, the Green Bay Packers were just too tough. You think about this. And I don't know if I can recall in all these years an NFL team that has continuity at the most important position like the Packers. They went from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers and now to Jordan Love. That's 3 impact, 2 Hall of Fame, maybe a 3rd Hall of Fame, all in a row quarterbacks. Are you kidding me? And that's why they have stayed relevant and competitive all those years. That is pretty darn amazing. Second silver goes to Yoshinobu Yamamoto, the Dodgers starter. Second straight complete game in an era where how many complete games were there this whole year throughout the entire major leagues? I don't think it was more than like low double digits, like 12, 13, something like that.
I know when Yamamoto did his, it was the first time in, I believe, 8 years that it's been done in a playoff.
In a postseason.
Yeah.
Yeah. First in 8 years. Now he's got 2 in a row. That evens up the series. It goes to L.A. tonight. That series knotted up at 1-1. So I said the Dodgers in 5, thinking they would split in Toronto and sweep in L.A. And that may happen, but I'm starting to feel a little leery about that pick because the Blue Jays can hit now. All those comeback wins. 50 now on the year. That's pretty amazing. And then, of course, the gold. And I know you're all going, well, you really hardly mentioned it at all. The Tiger football comeback. Now, I must confess to you. At the half, in my mind, and I told this to my son who was my spotter, I don't think there's any way to come back because football, to me, always is won in the trenches. And South Florida had dominated on both sides of the ball so heavily. They were so much more physical. Couldn't get to Byron Brown. He could have smoked a cigarette back there after the ball was hiked before he threw it. They turned it around. They made the adjustments. It was a beautiful thing to watch. How they showed backbone and belief. They never gave up on one another. The adjustments were putting more pressure and being more aggressive to get to Byron Brown, who got flustered. And think about it, a 73-yard run by a running back, Sam Franklin, was the only real offense they had in the whole second half. And then they couldn't run the ball, and that's their bread and butter. But they let Brandon Lewis pass the ball. And Lewis was outstanding. Career high, 307 yards. They come back at combination with Cortez Braham is a thing of beauty. And the season is saved. The Tigers are back in the polls. They're 25th in both polls. They are, by ESPN, and the graphic was shown at the end of the game, of the group of 5 now, they are the analytic favorite at 27% to be the group of 5 rep in the playoffs. Now, you got to keep winning. They're 13.5-point favorites over Rice, but, they were 22.5-point favorites at UAB. So you take nothing for granted. You better be ready to play Friday night in Houston. Your good stuff?
My good stuff. I'm going to get started on bronze, giving one to Daniel Jones, who had 272 yards and 3 TDs in their dominant performance over the Tennessee Titans. That's my team, and we look terrible this year. Mike McCoy is not great. Mike McCoy is not trying to be different. The reason Brian Callahan was fired is because he was not a risk taker. He tried to play everything safe, and look where that got him. Mike McCoy is doing nothing different, so not that hard to really show them up, but Daniel Jones looked really, really good. Definitely, it seems to be a theme. Whenever you leave New York, you seem to find success elsewhere, but now Jackson Dart, sorry to hear about Cam Scadaboo.
Man, that's awful.
I don't think anybody saw that coming. Well, I would say that, but with how crazily he runs all over the field.
Well, he's such a physical guy, but and he did the same thing at Arizona State.
Yeah.
But, the NFL and college are a little bit different.
2 completely different ball games.
That is the weirdest thing. I have not seen it yet. I heard Greg and Eli talking a little bit about the injury, and I know when they looked up that I guess it was his right ankle.
Yeah, his leg. It looked like it snapped in half.
Yeah.
It's reported that it was dislocated and I believe broken.
Dislocated, and if it's broken that way, I don't know if it was a compound fracture or not, but he's got to have surgery.
Yeah.
Which means he's not coming back this year. And that is a big blow because that was the best rookie combination I'd seen in years.
Oh,
Dart and Scadaboo? Wow.
Yeah, well, that wasn't a bronze, but I guess, it had to be mentioned anyways. My second and last bronze is going to this Texas Tech team who, in their dominant victory over Oklahoma State, which, again, is not a hard feat to accomplish, they had 2 QBs that threw. Mitch Griffiths, who threw for 172 yards and a TD, and Will Hammond, who threw for 102 yards and a touchdown. I mean, you put 2 quarterbacks in a game that performed that dominantly and against this team is probably the best that money can buy this year with how much they spend in the offseason transfer portal, all that stuff. Really good team.
Well, they spent $1 million on a softball pitcher and got him a national title, so it's working. Trace the money, baby.
It works. If you've got it, spend it, I would say. So Moving on to silvers. Drew Mestmaker, the quarterback for North Texas, threw for 608 yards.
Is that not crazy?
4 TDs and an interception. Of course, when you throw that much, surely an interception is bound to come. But still, 4 TDs and over 600 yards passing in one game.
That was against Charlotte, was it not?
It was.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
But you still got to highlight great performances.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
still an
yeah.
opponent
Oh,
that's
no.
going out there trying to stop you from doing your goal, and you throw all over them.
Well,
Looks really good.
The school record for a college program that's been around a long, long time. I mean, 600 yards, Lord.
Yeah, that's
Tigers could very well face Mestamaker and the North Tenton Mean Green
Yeah.
in the championship game.
It's very,
If
very
both keep
likely
winning.
if they keep winning out.
North Texas, by the way, got a very easy schedule. If you look at who they've played
Well,
this year,
it's-
they've gotten a very easy schedule. But they got to play, I think it's Navy. That'll be their next test. We'll see. I think they're favored in that game.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting for Navy. My next silver, I'm going to give it to Haynes King, who had 304 yards passing, 3 TDs, and on top of that, he was the lead rusher on their team with 91 yards and 2 touchdowns rushing. This Georgia Tech team is really, really good. I don't think a lot of people expected them to still be undefeated this far into the season.
No.
But if you looked at last year, Haynes was really, really good in that game against Georgia. Took them all the way to the limit, took them to that overtime victory where Georgia basically had to crawl out and come back against them. But he looks really good with this team. Unbelievable. And then my last silver, I'm going to give to Jonathan Taylor, who I believe is the front runner for best running back in the NFL right now by a long margin.
Do you know in the game he had 153 yards yesterday? Do you know how many yards per carry he got?
I didn't check that.
12.8, almost 13 yards every time
Well,
he ran the ball. That's incredible.
Again, against the Titans defense. Not a
True,
hard
true.
feat. But to add on top of that, thus far in the year, I believe Jonathan Taylor leads in carries, yards, and touchdowns across the NFL. So he's definitely my front runner for top guy of the year. And I have 2 golds. It's going to another running back. James Cook III, 216 yards and 2 TDs, and the Bills win over the Panthers. That is against the Panthers, but any time in the NFL that a running back can rush for over 200 yards, that is an incredible
Yeah.
accomplishment. And then my last gold has to go to Cedric Coward. This rookie pick, I believe, is right now, I don't know if he's far in the lead for front runner for Rookie of the Year, but he looks really good out there. I was at our game opening night, and he is just running all over the court. His defensive play is incredible. He was the top scorer in our win against the Pacers, 27 points in that game. Took us to victory there. He looks really, really good, and I feel like with his tenacity, him running all over the court, it's encouraging all these other players to also do the same. So that's what you're getting out of Jalen Wells, KCP, all of these people. So a big shout out to him. I really like this
If he
pick.
can go 6 for 6 from 3-point range like he did in the game against Miami, look out. I mean, I'm not saying this, but our own Greg Gaston, who you know is a Maryland alum, he said, I look at Cedric Howard and I see Lenny Bias type of talent. Now, I don't know if he's that good, but I think he's pretty good. He looked pretty.
I would say
if
he's
he
on track.
The one thing he couldn't do was shoot from beyond the arc, but he sure did,
He did.
in that game. I've got 3 very quick rusts I want to give. I start with college football. 8 Power 4 firings, and we're only 2/3 of the way through the season. I hate to say it, because I'm not the biggest Brian Kelly fan. That goes back to Notre Dame, and when that student manager got killed, and his whole attitude about that kind of turned me off. But the guy was 5-3. He was 34-14, although I think he was like 4-11 against ranked teams. That part wasn't beautiful, but you look at the way James Franklin and Brian Kelly, who are all going to just cash in to do nothing. It's all screwed up. I mean, college football and the way they're firing midseason is crazy. I got to give a rust to Woody Johnson, too. He's the New York Jets owner. I feel good for Justin Fields. I don't think Justin Fields is a great talent, and I learned that early from my Chicago Bears. But you can't, as the owner, as the leader of the franchise, point the finger at the guy who's still your quarterback. And that's what he did. That was ridiculous. And then I got to give Alex Skullish, the USF Bulls, my final rust. So I counted. We kept tally. in the booth during that game. 9 USF players got hurt in that game. 9. By the way, it was miraculous. Every one of them came back to play. Alex Golish would be incensed because his philosophy is up-tempo. He wants boom, boom, boom. Keep that defense on its heels. Backpedaling, trying to keep up with your speed. When you try to do that, oh no. Boop, got to blow the whistle. Guy's hurt. He just contradicts his whole philosophy every game. There are rules that are in place. It's supposed to be like a 5-yard penalty, maybe loss of a timeout if they think you're doing that. This guy's, everybody knows it now. 9 different players, every one of them miraculously returned within 2 or 3 plays.
Yeah,
he gets a rust.
Yeah, I have 2 quick little rusts. A third honorable mention after the embarrassing loss against Indiana. Nico Iamaialava put him back on the rust list.
Oh, there
2
you go.
Interceptions, no TDs. It's been a running gag.
And what did
with
Aguilar
us.
do for the mighty Volunteers?
396 yards passing and 3 TDs.
That was the greatest trade in the history of college sports.
That was incredible. I almost gave him the medal. I should have. That was really, really good. But my first rust, I feel like this team is not really getting a lot of attention for how bad they are this year, and that's Oklahoma State, who is now 1-7 on this year in the Big 12, was a contender last year, and now all of a sudden has just completely fallen off. This team is terrible. They had 2 quarterbacks in that game that totaled 87 yards passing. They couldn't even get 2 quarterbacks combined for triple digits. Absolutely terrible. Their only win came in week 1 against UT Martin, where they won 27-7. But this team is horrible, and I certainly didn't see this coming, judged on how good Oklahoma State has been in the past, but this team is terrible. And then my last rust, I've been talking about them basically all day, is the Titans. This team is terrible. This team is making all the wrong moves. In the Jets' win yesterday, I don't know if you know this, but the cornerback that we traded to the Jets in Jarvis Brownlee Jr. made the game-saving play that solidified the Jets' win in that game. Jarvis Brownlee, 24 years old, great cornerback, and we gave him away for a bag of chips and a peanut butter sandwich.
Let me just say this. Derrick Henry ripped the Chicago Bears apart yesterday. Mike Vrabel continues to win. Really, that's the biggest one. Mike Vrabel, what were they thinking?
We weren't. That's the only explanation.
That is it. And those are our Russ. We're sitting in the Family Leisure studio. World's biggest spa sale still going on. But today's the 27th. I got a feeling starting next weekend, there's going to be a different sale at Family Leisure. So cash in now where you can get a spa at under $3,000. The big super swim spas like you stay in place and you get the jets to really work your heart rate up. You can get that resistance going. Those are 30% off. Floor models even better, and the cold plunges, the newest thing, they're under $5,000. All you got to do is get there, I-40 and Whidden Road, cash in on the world's biggest spa sale going on at Family Leisure. When we come back, this will be a treat. Nathaniel Root has become an author. He's got a book that's out. We're going to talk about that. Earl Barron, Courtney Trask, all in the house. We'll talk to all these former Tigers about tonight's game between the Tigers and John Calipari's Arkansas Razorbacks. This is going to be fun. It comes your way in just a minute.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Everything today is technologically based. Well, except maybe you. If you're struggling with tech, no matter what kind, call Tech for You. Tech for You for TVs, home theaters, cameras, smart locks, digital storage, and more. Tech for You makes it simple and affordable. Call 697-9695. Make your home safe, comfortable, and up to date with Tech for You. Stop struggling with tech. Call 697-9695. Veteran-owned and operated Tech for You. Technology simplified.
It's Landers Truck and SUV season at Landers Ford in Collierville. New F-150s with incredible lease offers. Plus, Explorer and Expedition with X-Plan demo priced offers. The price you see is the price you pay. No hidden addendums. That's the Landers difference and what's made us the #1 Ford dealer in Greater Memphis. Inventory is moving fast. Get into a new F-150 or check out Explorer and Expedition X-Plan demo priced offers at Landers Ford in Collierville. Need to get out of your current vehicle? We're paying top dollar for trades. Keep the cash or use it to upgrade and save even more on your upgrade. Find out how much your trade is worth and get started buying online now with our Landers Easy Pass at LandersFordMemphis.com or give us a call to schedule your test drive today. Landers Ford in Collierville. Remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
As reported on Ford's 2024 total new vehicle retail sales report, Memphis market. Price, tax, title license, and $6.95 processing fee. See dealer for complete details. Offer ends 11/3/25.
DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is the place to bet on NBA stars this season. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use promo code HERD. That's promo code HERD. Bet $5 and get 3 months of League Pass plus $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, pass-through of per-wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. NBA League Pass auto renews until canceled. Additional terms at dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
Hi, folks. Colin here. Last Major League Baseball postseason, you probably saw something unusual. Strauss on every batting helmet. They made history as the first brand ever with their logo on the postseason batting helmet. Pretty cool, right? That red ostrich definitely stood out. Their work pants are award-winning, durable, comfortable, loaded with pocket designs that actually make sense. Their jackets are built to take on whatever the day throws at you. Weather, wear, or long hours. And the boots, tough enough for real work. Versatile enough that you'll want to keep them on after the job's done. They got smart pocket systems, too, that keep your essentials right where you need them and comfort that lasts all day. From the job site to the weekend, Strauss makes gear that works as hard as you do. It's not just workwear. It's a tool you can wear. Once you try it, you'll see why so many pros trust the name Strauss. From grit to glory. Check out Strauss.com, STRAUSS.com. Again, Strauss.com. Gear up now with Strauss.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
This is going to be a treat. We got Tigers in the house as basketball opens up college style at FedEx Forum tonight. The Tigers, and the first time, I think, that John Calipari, even though it's an exhibition game, will face an old team. I don't think he's ever played UMass.
I don't think so.
Well, he's had to play Kentucky at Arkansas last year. That's a former team. But it'll be interesting to see. After all these years, I think it's 14 years now since he was the Tiger coach. Here 9 years, and it was like a bad divorce, a lot of angst on both sides of it all. And a lot of people have not forgiven him, but I think the majority have. I think what he did for Memphis was unbelievable, those great 9 years. And part of that was a story with Earl Barron and with Nathaniel Root, Courtney Trask, and they're all going to be there tonight, and they're all right here, right now. Let's start with you, Nathaniel, because you instigated this whole thing by writing a book. I do think of all the years, and I've been involved in the Tiger basketball program since '83, there's never been a guy who was a walk-on that had the popularity that you had. I know you've written about that in the book. What do you attribute that to? What do you think was the reason why people gravitated toward you?
Because I was that blue-collar player, and I think this city, we're built on blue-collar and grit and grind, and I think that everybody can see a little bit of themselves, I think, their story in my story. So.
And then I know when you were done, you went into coaching for a little bit in your old high school, Adamsville. What are you doing now?
Now I work with my sister at her agency, the Root Agency, where we are consultants for nonprofits where they hire us to come in and help them raise money or build out their development departments and growth, things like that.
All right. What prompted you to write the book? What's in there?
So it's basically from my early years growing up, what made me, what built me, all the way through high school, and then my story, the setbacks, the times I've been told no, was cut, things like that. I thought this story was very inspiring and motivating, not only for our younger generation, but also now being 44 years old and chasing a new dream. Yeah, but it's been a while since we played ball. But, now chasing another dream and showing people that no matter what age you are, if there's a dream and there's something you want to do, go out and chase it and do it.
You have, I guess the foreword is written by John Calipari.
Yes.
Does Josh write anything in here?
Josh.
Pastner?
No.
Okay.
I wasn't. I mean, I knew him, but I really wasn't involved with him.
So
I was at UTEP the years he was here in Memphis. I was coaching at UTEP in Auburn with Tony Barbee.
Okay, that's right. Mm-hmm. I thought maybe you would overlap 1 year. Okay. No. So what does John say?
You'll have to read it. No, it was very great. He was very. It was humbling and honored me to what he put in there about remembering me as a player and coaching several NBA guys throughout his career, but just always remembered me for my hard work and the time I put in and things like that. So it was very humbling to.
How do you think he will be greeted tonight by Tiger fans?
I hope he's celebrated. That's number one, and I think we all have to be thankful for what he did here. I was telling GP last week on his show that let's celebrate him and celebrate the players that are back. Without if Penny, we wouldn't have Penny if Cal was still here. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we got our hometown guy coaching, but I think to celebrate him, be happy that he's back, be thankful for what he's done, thankful for bringing all of us back together. And
that should be pointed out because he
Yes.
said that as a stipulation.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted all of you guys to be honored, and not just the 2018,
Yes.
but it was everybody who had ever played for him.
Mm-hmm.
And the years that he gave us, those 9 special years where, he did make everything so interesting and exciting.
Oh, he did.
If you can't honor that, then there's something not right about it.
I said you can go back cheering against him or not. You don't have to cheer for Arkansas during the game, but I think they're going to do a special presentation before the game, and let's honor him and thank him for what he's done here.
All right, Earl Barron, I got to bring you in here. I've always admired how stoic you've been, which is perfect. You're a financial analyst, so you stay calm in all these. Although the market's been really good, huh?
Turned around.
I don't think you were always so comfortable with John. You're back. You're being honored tonight. How do you feel about that, and how do you think he will be greeted by the fans?
Like Ruth said, I think a lot of people are on the fence. You have the diehard people. Memphis, they bleed blue, but I think there's still a sour taste in a lot of people's mouth. But you just have to, great coach. You know what I mean? What he brought to the city, coming from UMass, and then how we started at below 500 to 500 to NIT to making the tournament to making the national championship a few years after that. But we'll see. It's going to be interesting. I think he'll be celebrated more than booed.
I certainly hope so. And, you've probably come a ways around because I think you were offended by him initially. I can remember an incident on CBS TV. I'm not going to get into it, but, but I have always wanted to ask you this, despite that.
Yeah.
Do you think he helped you become a pro basketball player? And you get an NBA pension and you won a ring, so, that's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he was tough. He was tough on me. I wasn't one of the guys that he recruited. I had to go through Tick Price and Johnny Jones before, Cal stepped in. And, it was kind of me adjusting to him bringing in his own guys and bringing in all these good recruits. And it was just a matter of like, hey, I can weather the storm and see what happens. And at the end of my career, I kind of was like, I feel like I could do more. But I'd always kind of see him over my shoulder yelling and screaming. I was like, you know what, I I can rebound, I can block shots, I can shoot threes, I can do all this stuff. And once I became a pro, it was kind of like more relaxing that I can just go, play ball and go prove that I could play. We had so much talent. Just seeing Wani the other day, it was like, man, I remember a couple games, he just said, just get Wani open. That was my only job, to get Wani open. And I was like, I don't get to take any shots. I want to shoot too. But, it just made me the player that I am, once I left Memphis. So.
Is Wani coming, by the way?
Because he's here.
Okay, so he's here. That is fantastic because his son is playing, wearing that red.
All the Wagners are here.
Yeah. Earl, who do you attribute to as the coach that really you think was the guy that prepared you for the NBA?
Outside of Coach Cal, I would say Spoelstra, because Spoelstra knew what kind of player I was starting in summer league, and he kind of pulled me to the side. He was like, "Hey, you're hesitating. He said, I believe that you can do a lot of the things that your mind's telling you." And he said, just shoot if you're open. He said, that's why we're running plays. He said, do the little things that we work on in practice. And it kind of became second nature. It was kind of easy. And I was like, oh, this is not as hard as, once you learn the X's and O's and spacing and being in the right spots, the game's a lot easier.
Well, say this much, he's now being recognized as one of the best that's ever coached. Let me bring in Courtney Trask. Gosh, it's so good to see you. Now, I know you just told me you live in Baton Rouge. What do you do?
I am back in Baton Rouge. I am working for the USDA. Currently dealing with furlough right now, but we're going to get through that. I also have a consulting business. I've been helping college kids talk to different schools, helping them with different NIL opportunities. So that's what I'm doing now, and still in the sports world as well.
Now, take us back to when you graduate. What's your road been like?
So, I transferred. Y'all read that in Root's book along with the other bad stuff he said about me. But
I didn't say anything bad.
I ended up transferring after 1 year with Coach Cal. Hardest thing of my life. I came in with these guys. We lived together, rode together, piled in cars together, walked together. So, that was the hardest thing, of my life at that point, making a decision to walk away from these guys and, trying to figure out what was best for my situation at the time.
And what's the thing you're most going to remember about Cal, or even tonight, what you think might happen?
Just appreciative of, I'm older now, and like Earl said, I was Cal's first point guard here, so he was extremely hard on me. And at the time, I didn't have other point guards to see before me how he was with them. So as I got older, I got to see he was always into it with his point guards, Derrick Rose, Tyreek, all these different guards.
Yeah.
So I got to look back on it and understand that, hey, he didn't really hate me. He just was, that's how he was with his point guard.
Yeah.
So, I got to mature, and, our relationship got better after I left. We talked. I owned up to my part in it, and, I was talking to them and my good friend here, just wishing I had stayed and stuck it out because, I thought about these guys, my teammates, the coaches, the city. Like, Memphis took me in as one of their own. And, I'll always be a Tiger. I'll always root for him. So I'm glad Coach Cal did this. I was shocked when I was like, wait, I transferred. He still wants me back, but
that's him.
That's him. And,
that's it.
I appreciate it.
How do you think he gets received tonight?
I think it'll be a mixture. But like these guys said, he needs to be celebrated.
No doubt.
He brought a lot to the
I think it's great you came back. You're still a Tiger. That is the great thing. All right, Root, how do we get your book?
Man, Amazon, just go on to Amazon, type in Root, A Memphis Hoops Dream. You can get it right now in paperback or the hard copy actually in your hand, or you can do it download through Kindle or whatever you download. Audiobook is coming hopefully mid-November toward Thanksgiving, where I'm currently right now recording my voice reading the book, which is very weird. I've never done this, so but it's been fun. It's been a really fun experience.
That's a new little skill you're going to learn here.
Yes, sir.
All right.
So,
It is absolutely fantastic to see all of you guys. I can't wait to see you tonight. I can't wait for the crowd to cheer you guys on because I know for sure they're going to do that. No doubt about it.
Big congratulations to you and your Hall of Fame last year.
Oh, thank you.
I know we were there, but still, just want to say it on air. Like, we were beyond proud and humble. Like we were sitting there talking. We knew what was it, CDR. Was getting it.
He was the headliner.
And then when we saw your name, we're like, dude, we've got to come and be there, support that.
That is so kind of you. Is CDR coming?
I don't know. We haven't seen him. If he is, we haven't seen him.
Yeah.
There's a couple of guys.
Well, he was here
who are
last
on
year.
the list who we haven't seen yet. That might be rolling in today. But yesterday we just all kind of rolled into the Arkansas practice, and
I heard D-Wash is here. I look forward to that. Seeing him.
We did not see him yesterday.
Oh, really? I heard
that doesn't mean he won't be here tonight. He just
there
wasn't
a lot
there.
of old faces. Shamel Jones, haven't seen him since.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
I can't wait to see all these guys.
Shannon Foreman, Shamel,
Oh,
Kelly
my
Wise,
God.
Moody.
Oh yeah,
Paris
Kelly Wise I've
Paris
seen
London.
now. Kelly Wise is the coach.
Yeah. So it's
Got to meet Paris Hassan.
Is that right?
Yes.
All right. We'll see you all tonight. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
so
Thank
much
you.
for coming, and good luck on the book, my friend.
Thank you.
That is Nathaniel Root, Courtney Trask, Earl Barron. We thank them all, and including your friend that has come into the studio, who was not a Tiger. I'm sitting here going, how do I know that guy? And I did not. We got to take a break. We are right back. We head to Tampa. TJ Reeves comes your way in just a minute on Wolo and Friends.
You have opinions?
I think it's over.
Of course you do.
I don't think it's that simple.
Everyone does.
I got all the answers.
Hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line at 360-8255.
Guns, guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Corky's Barbecue in Cordova.
You know what I love about Central Barbecue?
They pay you to do their radio commercials.
Well, yeah, but what I really love about Central Barbecue is I'm proud to do their radio commercials.
Really? You should put more effort into it.
I'm proud to represent the very best barbecue in Memphis, and therefore the best barbecue in the world. Wait, what'd you say?
Nothing. I'm proud to do the Central Barbecue ads, too. Believe me, I've done some ads for companies that really weren't the very best in their business.
I know the ones you're talking about.
No, you don't. That was a long time ago.
If you say so. But doing ads for Central Barbecue means being able to say, honestly, it's a great product at a great price.
With lots of great locations.
To NST, it's never just another case. It's your shot at getting life back on track. Real help, real heart. 35 years and still winning. NST is the way to go. Call 683-7000 or go online at nstlaw.com.
Something's always happening over at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, and I've got him on the line, Marty McNate. Hey, Marty, what's happening over there at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown?
Deals you can't pass up, Randy, like 2025 Taos S, $219 a month.
Taos S, $219 a month. What else you got, McNate?
What about a 2025 Jetta S? We got it, $228 a month.
$228 a month for Jetta S? That is awesome. And that Atlas deal you were telling me about?
Randy, I've got a 2026 Atlas SE, $299 a month.
I'm picking up what you're putting down over there. Hey, McNate, tell them what to do.
Come see me, Marty McNate, at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, 7420 Winchester Road, or shop online at GossettVWG.com. And remember, your future is what you make it.
That's Gossett Volkswagen Germantown.
All 36 month lease, 7,500 miles, 25 cents excess mileage. Taos SMO 58885, MSRP 27011. Get a TM 005137, MSRP 25820. Atlas TC 515,398, MSRP 41841. Includes all rebates and incentives. 895 PF excludes fast title license with credit CD for complete details plus finance through Volkswagen Financial Services. Valid through 10/31/25.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
We're heading to Tampa. That was so much fun talking with those guys. Brought to you by ATC Fitness, where they strive to make their gyms as comfortable and convenient to their members as they possibly can. They're proud to offer a variety of amenities to all ATC Fitness members, as well as some additional special features for premium members. You know, they have 18 different locations all around town, always the newest equipment, always the cleanest of facilities. They've got the most cardio machines that come equipped with personal TVs, with a variety of cable channels available. It's just the place to do it. You'll meet a friend. You'll get in better shape. ATC Fitness, you know you can exercise your right to look good. And this portion of the show brought to you by Southern Security. Whether you're looking for the best possible rate on your mortgage, whether it's a loan of some kind for a car, this is the place to go. They've got the best rates, the most flexible terms, no PMI, unbeatable service. You can refinance your current mortgage easily just by going to southernsecurity.org or calling and talking to a person at 452-7900. Southern Security is an equal housing lender, federally insured by NCUA. Southern Security is your home team credit union. So to Tampa we go. Our good friend TJ Reeves standing by. Good morning, TJ. How about those Tigers? What are they saying in Tampa?
Wow.
About the Tigers win. What are they saying about Alex Golish and all those fake injuries?
Listen, it's great to be with you on any given Monday, but especially good to be with you after this one. I've had a very interesting weekend while you were yelling and screaming on the Tiger call with Jarvis Greer, and I did catch some of you on the Tiger broadcast from Learfield through TuneIn. I know the Varsity app has it, et cetera. So I was listening to my man Wolo call the game in the first half. And then we had to fly to New Orleans with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to get ready for the NFL game while the second half was going on. And I let you know this last week that I'm going to be trapped at 30,000 feet with people in the Buccaneer travel party who are USF grads. And you better believe they were ready to come after me when the Bulls were winning that whole game into the fourth quarter. But my goodness, how things turned, and it was a wild circumstance, and we'll get into that in a second on us being able to see it while the Memphis fans were seeing it on TV or at the Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, right? And your call of it, describing it, we were having a little trouble seeing it. I'll get into that in a minute. But to answer your question, including in my household with my wife of almost 30 years who's a Bull, that this we could sum it up right here. Landon's ready to go. We could sum up the USF fans avoiding me right here, I believe. This is currently, Wolo. That's what we have. We have nothing being said after that 17-point comeback by the Tigers. And so that's silence is golden, like, right, in the movie theaters?
Right.
Silence is golden right now.
That is interesting. Has anybody, seriously, in the Tampa media mentioned anything about here's a guy, Alex Golish, whose premise on offense is to go up-tempo and to try to get as many plays in. I know they had like 51 in the first half.
Yep. You saw it firsthand. You saw it firsthand Saturday. They want to snap the ball in 7 or 8 seconds, right? That's
right.
Their philosophy, right?
Yes.
Except when the other team has the ball, and that's what you're coming to.
Right.
When the opponent has the ball, we don't want that to happen, right?
All the fake injuries.
Well, especially when it's now been revealed, and I've looked into it, and yes, the answer is there's a couple of people there's a radio host that was talking about this, there's somebody else on the internet talking about this, that Alex Golish has got some accountability here for this because it got beyond excessive. It just got to the point where it was stupid. And it has been uncovered. They use a code word. The code word may have been changed, but they use a code word that they yell out and somebody just goes down. And I saw 2 different instances, even while flying on the plane to New Orleans, where a player made a tackle, they're showing the replay, and the player's just laying there. And then the training staff comes out, and the training staff doesn't look at a leg, doesn't look at an arm. The player's just laying there, and then the player sits up. And that was the one in particular in the third quarter where the crowd began to boo Golish coming out, and he kind of exhorted at the crowd.
Yeah.
And again, if you're going to play that warp speed way on offense, and then you're going to pull those shenanigans with fake injuries, and that's what we're going to call them. When you put the player back in the game 2 plays later, it's a fake injury. And when it's been uncovered that you're using a code word to go down, the code word was submarine, by the way. Submarine was the code word previously. If somebody yells submarine, somebody's supposed to go down. And that got uncovered. So I don't know if they changed the code word or not, but this is definitely out there on the internet. This is not just me making it up. It's from audio of the previous games that USF had played earlier in the year, the first 3 or 4 games. that it can be heard over and over and over again. So, again, we'll see if he addresses it some more. You know, at the end of the day, Memphis made the plays, got the great catch from Graham in the corner of the end zone, and then got the stop at the end. The holding penalty's large, and I felt for Nico Gramatica. I've known the Gramatica family for over 25 years. That's the oldest son of Martine, the former Buccaneers Super Bowl kicker. And it was a bad snap, and he hooked it to the left. I don't think you put that on him. So, again, it was a wild day. And, again, for the plane video, we had the airplane video that would freeze up, Wolo, while we're flying to the Big Easy, and then it would skip ahead like 2 plays. So I did not see the go-ahead touchdown as it was happening. It kind of sped ahead, and then suddenly they're showing the replay.
Well, it was a great catch by Cortez Graham.
It's a phenomenal catch. It's a clutch catch that keeps the huge hopes of the college football playoff alive. And then we did not see the penalty play on the plane when Brown threw in the end zone and they got the holding penalty. The video skips ahead to the field goal in progress, wide left, and I might or might not have yelled out, yes, when that thing hooked left on the plane.
Well, it was quite the scene because the season has been saved. Now, you know, ESPN had this graphic that said Memphis is the 27% chance to be the G5 rep in the playoffs. So now you got to keep winning. You can't lose a game.
Absolutely.
But because the Birmingham loss took away any margin for error. But honestly, think about this. If you were going to choose one win and you knew you were going to lose a game, which would you rather have won? This is the one because this convinces everybody, and it convinced the pollsters because
you
now
beat a top 20 team in winning that game.
And now you're in the top 25. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's just the second AP top 25 or coaches poll top 25 win for Ryan Silverfield in this era, which has been a very successful era. But Tulane last year and then this one are the 2 ranked teams he's beaten.
Well, and as you said, you now must take care of business with Rice on this Friday, and then you get Tulane at home, which Tulane and Navy are both the same attitude of we control our own destiny. If we win out because Navy plays both USF at home and Memphis at Memphis, so their attitude is we control our own destiny, and Tulane's saying the same thing. We get Memphis, and if we win and keep rolling along unbeaten in the conference, we're going to be in the title game. So this is going to be fascinating because it's going to kind of round-robin play out over the next 5 weeks.
It's going to be fascinating tonight. The Tigers open up their basketball season with an exhibition game. Proceeds going to St. Jude. It's not part of the season ticket package, and it's an exhibition game, so I don't know that the sales have been overwhelming. I sure hope a bunch of people show up for this game because the money does go to St. Jude, and they want to make this a bigger event, maybe an in-season tournament in the near future. But it's the first time that John Calipari will be in Memphis to take on an old team. He's played once here before in the NCAA tournament. This will be the first time against his old team. How do you think, because you stay in pretty good touch with this community, how do you think John's welcome will be?
Well, I mean, he's now been gone almost, 17, 18 years.
I think it's 14 years. 14. I think it's 14.
09, so 16 years, right? 09 was his last season.
Oh, yeah, 16 years. You're right. It's even longer than I thought.
So he's been gone. He's been gone for a while, and, I'm sure there will be some Memphis fans that have not forgiven how he left. You understand why he left, to go to Kentucky. It's Kentucky. So this will be interesting. The only thing I was thinking when you were saying this to me that it's an exhibition is why can't they make this a regular series thing, play it in Memphis, play it in Fayetteville, play it wherever, and then have that go to St. Jude. So maybe this is the precursor to that. Maybe that's what they're setting up.
Here is the problem with that. Memphis playing Arkansas in a regular season game as part of a season ticket package is going to sell a lot of tickets. Memphis is a school that is not in the Power Four. They don't get the kind of revenue they can. I'm not sure, and as great a charity, and I love St. Jude. I support St. Jude as much as I can. But I'm not sure that Memphis can afford to give up a home game and that gate for charity. So that's part of it. And look, St. Jude, I think they want a 4-team in-season tournament. I don't even know, and I may be speaking out of turn here. I'm not even sure if the end goal includes that being Memphis involved in this, because this is supposed to be a fundraiser for the hospital. So I don't really know where all that is, and I support them all, but I don't think Memphis can give up a home gate.
All I know is for so many years, back when I was there with Nolan Richardson and Larry Finch, and we're going back now in the day, in the 80s, into the 90s, et cetera, the Memphis-Arkansas rivalry was tremendous. And I know Calipari stamped a lot of those rivalries out with, either playing Ole Miss or playing Tennessee or playing whoever when he was the Memphis coach. So stay tuned on whether that can resume. It should resume. It's a great rivalry, and they should play each other at least, on a home-and-home basis every once in a while. But
I think it should be a yearly deal, and I know that's what Penny is trying to do. So we shall see. All right, you tell me. I know you're happy. Your Buccaneers won again. It looked like it was pretty easy.
6-2, and off to the tie for the best start in franchise history. Dare I mention that 2 other times that the Bucs won the Super Bowl, they started the year 6-2. Now Tom Brady had something to do with the last one. Hall of Fame defenders had something to do with the 0-2 team that was 6-2. But this is a great start. They were not tremendous on offense, but the defense played great with 4 takeaways, 5 sacks. The Saints are awful. The Saints may end up on the clock here as the number 1 overall pick. But the Bucs come into the bye week at a great time right now at 6-2 with wins at Atlanta, at Houston, at Seattle. Winning that game yesterday. You've also beaten San Francisco in the first half of the season, so they look good with getting some guys back healthy, and that was a fun post-game show and a fun plane ride to get back here to Tampa Bay with the Bucs in first place, my friend.
But that isn't the best story of the week. So I'm going to throw out a few, and I want you to tell me which one you liked the most. Let's start with Indy, best record in the NFL at 7-1.
That's the best story, period. Stop right there.
Wait. Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor, what a tandem there. Hold on. Jordan Love against the Green Bay Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh, and the guy that he ended up replacing, Aaron Rodgers. They win that game. How about the Jets want to demote Justin Fields? They couldn't because Taylor, the backup, got injured. He comes in and rescues him from 15 down in the fourth quarter. They win for the first time after their owner, which I thought was silly, Woody Johnson, pointing the finger at his quarterback. He's supposed to be the leader, and he's taking a shot at his QB who got into playing.
The starting quarterback in New York always gets bashed. This is what you signed up for if you're Justin Fields, too.
And I know he gave an emotional
post-game comment or two about how tough a week it was for him mentally and otherwise. I mean, I get that mental illness is a thing and mental health is a thing, but you signed up to be the quarterback in New York. That's a whole different thing. Just like your Bears with Caleb Williams, you're signing up to be the quarterback in Chicago or Philadelphia, where it is different. It's different than the media in New Orleans or the media in Green Bay in some of these places, or even Tampa Bay. So Indianapolis is the best story. It's not a major market, but my Lord, does coaching matter with Daniel Jones and how well he's played, and they run the ball with Jonathan Taylor, and they're 7-1, and who had that?
Nobody.
This is why we love the NFL, for these different stories out of nowhere.
Sad story in New York as well. That's Scatterbo, the guy who was so good at Arizona State. That's
We were watching in the Superdome press box, and they had the Eagle-Giant game on, and as soon as I saw the play, I went, oh, look away. I said to the 2 people around me, look away. He's dislocated the bottom of his right leg, and it's graphic. And so he's done for the year, and the Giants at this point are just playing out the string, and are they going to fire the coach and start over again? The New York teams are a mess, but at least the Jets had a little reprieve yesterday. So fascinating. Mahomes in Kansas City on the Monday night game tonight. You mentioned Aaron Rodgers didn't win last night on Sunday Night Football. So
how about getting Mahomes though again on Monday night, and Kansas City getting Rice back? I hate to say this, but they may be the best team in the NFL again.
I'm not going that far. We got to see more of it against the better teams.
Who would it be? It's halfway through. If you had to pick right now, the team that's going to win the Super Bowl, who is it?
Philadelphia Eagles look strong. I'm going to include my Buccaneers in the mix. They have a lot of pieces on both sides of the ball to be able to win. If you're saying who other than Kansas City? What about Denver and how they just
gosh, Bo
Dallas
Nix, wow.
yesterday?
What about the Patriots and Mike Vrabel and Drake May?
Look, they're the next Buccaneer opponent. I'm not anointing them yet. Too many wins against bad teams. That's another bad team. Yesterday they beat the Titans. They beat the Saints, by the way. They beat the Dolphins. That's 4 teams that have 2 wins or less. Hold off on enshrining Mike Vrabel until they win many more significant games. Stay tuned. And they'll play the Bucs in 2 weeks. We'll talk more about that, obviously, when the time comes. But I think there are several contenders in the AFC that can beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Stay tuned. And the Chiefs catch a break tonight with no Jaden Daniels. It's Mariota, the backup quarterback, at home. Let's see what happens in that game tonight.
All right, last thing. USF was picked in the top 3 or 4 of the American. I don't really know much about that team. I know they got a good guard coming back. His name is Brown.
Well,
they got a new coach in Harsin.
You actually do know a little bit about them because this is the Arkansas State coach and 3 of his players that put all those 3-pointers on Memphis last year in December.
Oh, they transferred, huh?
And they transferred in. So this is some of his guys mixed in, and they're going to shoot a ton of 3-pointers in these games and in this season. That's their mentality. And Hodgson again is a disciple of Nate Oates. Formerly a Nate Oates assistant at Buffalo, then he was the Buffalo coach, then he was the Arkansas State coach. Yeah, so there's the chronology. So, yeah, USF's going to shoot a lot of threes. Right now, the basketball program there is on the back burner. Buccaneer football, USF football, the hockey team is back playing, and they're perennially good. So we'll see if the basketball team can struggle to get some attention and win some games. I'm fascinated to see the Tigers start of the season here for hoops with Penny.
Me too.
Do we have hope that this team early is going to gel? Because I know it's a whole new roster.
Well,
I guess we find out starting tonight, right?
Let me just say this. They're the biggest team I've seen in a Memphis uniform. And they have some guys that have a lot of potential. But we will see, and they're taking on Arkansas now. It's an exhibition game, but I got a feeling there'll be some for real going on here. And Arkansas has several great returners and 2 5-stars and a 4-star recruit. So this will
Let's
be
hope the crowd
a fun
is
one to
good. The
watch.
crowd was good. The crowd was good Saturday for the Memphis USF game. And let's hope all of that. I go back. I know you got to go. I go back to the opening of the old pyramid. Now the Bass Pro Shops free plug. The Tomb of Doom, and they passed out the Welcome to the Tomb of Doom shirts against Arkansas.
Been a long
I still
time.
remember that back in the day.
Been a long time ago, my friend. Thank you much. We'll chat next Monday.
All
Have
right,
a great
go
week.
get them with the Tigers. Thank you again for silencing what I have to deal with here in Tampa Bay. Be
There
well,
you
my
go.
friend.
All right, that's TJ Reeves, our man down in Tampa. He's brought to you by the Commissary Commercial Appeal. You know, they had this tournament in the paper to determine the #1 barbecue place in all of Memphis. And you know, we are a barbecue town. 2 great places. All the same one. It's the Commissary. Germantown, the original. The new place in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levy, which, by the way, now has an all-you-can-eat lunch buffet. Lunch Monday through Friday. 3 proteins. Always going to have chicken and pork. 5 sides, salad, drink, all for under $16 at $15.95. By the way, it's the place for all your football tailgate needs. Any kind of Christmas party, any kind of holiday party. You can either have it at either of the locations, or guess what? Cater it. Take it home. It's that simple. They do it all. And with Thanksgiving right around the corner, you know the Commissary does that famous turkey or spiral ham. Never too early to order. In fact, we're getting there. The Commissary makes everything special in Germantown and Collierville. This final portion also brought to you by Sheldon Rosengarten, Mark Spensdorf. You know how much you can tell by somebody's name? Well, the website for Sheldon Rosengarten is memphisrelocate.com. The number is really simple, too, 483-0546. But if you would like to see your house become the hot property, if you want to see your house disappear in days once it's listed, maybe sometimes even before it's listed, you get a hold of Sheldon Rosengarten. Now, he'll tell you. Talk to 2 or 3 real estate agents. Just make sure he is one of them. It's just so simple. MemphisRelocate.com, 483-0546. He works 24/7, 365. He's the way to move your house. He's Sheldon Rosengarten, Mark Spensdorf. That'll do it for us. Johnny Radio's right around the corner. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning. Have a great day, everyone.